Welcome to Intuitive Clarifications with Natasha, and I am so excited to be here. Paula is in hiding right now because she just had a big um, storm that she had to get through. So she's kind of collecting herself and honoring that moment that she just had to come through because it's like, she lives in Arizona, so it's like those desert storms. And so it's woo, and she was talking about how she was choosing not to go through a water rush of, because she didn't want to risk it. But that's the thing is that this is a time, this is the eclipse day. And, we can say that this is a time pretty much for everything and anything, that this is a time really to really set our intentions for our future. And, it's like this glitch that, Paula had coming in, and I'm letting her collect herself, that it's like that's the statement about how life is trying to not necessarily sabotage us. But I just had a conversation with someone who I love dearly, and they were talking about how they were having to set boundaries, and they were setting boundaries with somebody who basically said that they weren't doing anything wrong. And it was like, what a moment for us to set up new boundaries. I know I've been setting up boundaries with myself. Like today, I was doing things, and I listened to a podcast that, it's like he's part of the mind. Oh God, it's like when I want to say something, my brain just kind of goes out of it. But he's well known in that understanding of the mind reset. And it was interesting how I was like finding my way into just saying those questions of, why am I so abundant? It's like, instead of saying I am abundant, he mentioned about being why, the whys and the whats. And it was like, oh, that's what I need to do. So what do I need to do next to help myself be abundant? So I was I was pulled to clean my sliding glass door, which was bugging me. It was like one of my tabs open on my ADHD moment, right? And it was like, I cleaned that, and it's like, oh my gosh, the energy shifted in me just cleaning out my sliding glass door. Or it's like I was resetting my intuitive room here, just a little bit, because energy is so palatable right now. So what is the energies that you want to do? And so Paula, when you're ready, just put a thumbs up above your head, and I'll see you. And okay, and it's just one of we're in this like tremendous time of moving forward. And I was talking to one of my clients, and she got her house ready to sell, under contract. Now she's got to find a new home. It's like all these different things. And blessings on you, Chandra, for when you listen later, that it's like, blessings for you on this finding your new place. Because that's the thing is that sometimes when we're ready to make the step, we can't plan for all the steps, because the universe is not showing us all the steps yet. Yet is the word. And so that's the thing is that yet we have these ideas of where we're going. So here comes Paula. Thank you. Oh, and I'm going to be channeling, and Paula's going to be listening. And so I know that Mother Mary's going to come in, and Mary Magdalene's going to come in. So I'm excited about that. And maybe they can talk a little bit about this life-altering moment that we're in right now. Oh my gosh, the planets are like boom, 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 shifting us into our strategy. So here comes Paula.
Yay. Hi, everyone. How are we doing today?
And I can hear you much better than what I did before. So thank you.
Well, that's good.
Whatever you did.
I don't know.
Maybe you're closer to your phone. So
whatever it is, it's working. Whatever it is, it's working. How's everybody doing today with the eclipse energies and everything going on out there? It's very revealing of a lot of things. The wash that I didn't go through, I was sitting there, I could go through it, but saw a bunch of rocks and sticks and things coming down through it, and you don't want to get that caught under your car. And it's like, nope, I'll just sit and wait. I'll sit and wait. So, but I made it. So it's all good.
And that's the thing is these dry, just where you have the water rushing through, those glitches that you get into, that they can change your world without really wanting to. And so I'm proud of you for patience. And that's the thing is that, we need to have patience for the universe right now. We need to trust that our intuition is going to say stop, and we got to believe it. right? And surrender, because that's the whole thing about life is that, that trust, surrender, and acceptance to be proactive. And that's what actually my book is going to be on.
That trust.
So
Sorry.
don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. The technology is one of those things.
I
I
just wanted
swear.
to let everybody know I got the chat up so that if you have questions for when you channel, that I have it up.
Oh,
That's what I was
good, good,
doing.
good, good,
So
good.
we're good with that. Yep.
Yeah. So how are you besides the rush to try to get here, which I'm
I'm good.
grateful that you got here safe?
I'm good. I'm good. It didn't rain at my house at all. I got to watch it from my house and then I had to drive to it. So I was like, if I thought my internet would have been stable enough there, I would have stayed there, but I didn't want to waste or worry about it. So I'm kind of excited to speak to Mary and Mary today.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have any questions because she wrote them last time. So I figured she already knows what I want to know. Be interesting to see how it goes. But I did find I was looking up the Book of Enoch and apparently it is related to the Ethiopian Bible that I found at my friend's house that I took home to look at. I'm like, oh, that's why I have this book.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because I
Uh-huh.
didn't. I was like, in fact, I had it the other day. I was like, open it up. I wonder what I need to know about this book, that why I have it, And I opened it up and read a couple things, but it wasn't until I was sitting at the wash waiting to come through here. I was like, I looked it up. So interesting enough. So that's kind of where I'm at. Going, they did it again. Thank you so much for being there and making sure I know that they're there.
Okay, so we're jumping into a conversation
We are.
that we had yesterday. And I know that, we've had, like, I know I've watched a couple videos on this, and you had somebody who actually asked you yesterday about the question about the Book of Enoch.
Mm-hmm.
And, because that's pushing a lot of our beliefs into a different direction
Correct.
because it's old history, it's old understandings. And that's the thing is that we're rewriting understandings because of the way that I'm just going to use this as a general word and not necessarily with judgment, but man shifted our understanding of their time, that I can understand that when you're working with the truth of the time and you're in power, sometimes ego took over, and I can't judge them because I was in a lifetime where I had ego too. It's like, because we're
Right.
all part of this bigger picture, and our souls are all so connected within reality. But why should we judge a homeless person compared to somebody who's rich, compared to somebody who's popular, who's somebody who's not popular? Because we're all in that same boat. And how do we negotiate into that? And right now we're coming into those truths of understanding that, of how can we find blessings in the middle of being this soul in this body, in this physical understanding, in this physical knowing.
I think we have to get people to believe that we are all sharing that space and we are all connected. They just because we have skin doesn't mean we're separated. And
Exactly.
that's the concept to kind of wrap your head around. You have to be, we talk about it all the time. Like once we leave our human existence, we are infinite, our energy is infinite, or at least I believe so. And that comes with a whole lot of things that you get to witness or not witness, or to wrap your head around, that you could be everywhere at once, which is, we had talked about that with praying to Jesus or Mary or any of the deities that you pray to. There's more than you out there praying to them. So how do they pay attention to everything? And it's about that
Exactly.
whole being infinite energy and being able to be wherever you need to. So
Because that's the thing is that they are where they are at. And it doesn't matter if they are with, if Mother Mary is standing behind you and me at the same time, though, she is where she is at that time. And that's the part of reality, that it's about being in the moment where you're at. Be who you need to be in the moment. Be the gift that you can be. And that's the thing is about, the surrender, trust, and acceptance about our reality is about how can we negotiate into that. But that's trusting that I have my own back, that the universe has my back. I'm surrendering to the greater gift of the universe, saying, hey, I'm going to give you ideas. You just have to really respect and honor that, and then that acceptance that this is not exactly what I asked for, but this is how I'm going to get there. right? That whole, but
Yep.
then being proactive and saying that it's like me, trusting that I was going to be able to get things done in my house, take my kid home. I was thinking I was going to have stir fry for lunch. Oh no, I'll just pull out another chicken and have it for dinner. And then my husband can have stir fry the way he wants it, and I'll use my peanut sauce that I have left over. It's like from my Thai dinner that I had the other day. It's like, it's how do you kind of discern your way through is part of that understanding. And it's like I didn't, I accepted that things weren't going to work out the way I wanted them to, but oh my gosh, doing what I got done today, I'm just forever grateful, because it was like time for me to really believe in that. And I even lit candles because of you coming in a little bit later and we weren't talking. I was able to light candles for our day to day, that this new moon with an eclipse, with everything, that I did a little prayer of, why am I so abundant in my life? Because it's like I'm just seeing abundance everywhere. And my why is my bank account so full? Why is my life so full? Is because I believe, and I trust, and I surrender, and I accept that, but I'm proactive in doing things wisely. I'm, like my kid asked me, do you need to make any extra steps when I took him home? Because it was his birthday on Monday. And it's like, no, I don't need to. I'm good. I'm doing what I need to do where I need to do it. And I just had this wonderful gift of spending time with my kid, who, that's one reason why I don't move to another state, is because my kid, and
Yes.
so, there's these moments where life is happening around us. So, do you have anything that you want to say? I've been kind of talking over us here.
No, no, you're fine. You're fine. I was wondering if we were going to get started with the lovely ladies.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
if Mary's standing behind you and me at the same time, we're at a thrift store.
Oh my gosh. I went shopping. Mother Mary loves to go shopping. Oh my gosh. If you want to have somebody, well, I was from feng shuiing my friend's house down in California. And yes, I will channel here in a second or two. And I was like, Mother came in, and I actually had a message for my girlfriend, through her. And then she goes, and I'm going to have fun shopping. We collected through thrift stores, clearance, and the magical things that we were looking for. I mean, because I had this vision over her, in her bathroom, that was over her tub, that it was going to be this big picture, and it could have been a saying, but it was going to be very mute. It wasn't going to be loud or bright. And it had "Love You More" written on it, a grayer background, kind of a gray green background with a brown kind of edging that was very simple. And it was perfect for the spot. And we couldn't have had more perfect, because that's one thing I wanted to leave her, was with love. I wanted her to know she was loved. And, and so we changed up her house, and there was like all these little things that were like her intuition and my intuition were popping in. It was like, Mother, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Because she does love us more.
She does.
She does love us more. I mean, we think we've got this love thing under control now that I kind of understand it a little better, but no, no, she's got the game on that for sure.
She does. And I'll have to tell my girlfriend that my girlfriend on the show
Uh-huh.
gave me why we got that "Love You More," because Mother Mary loves you more.
Yep. I can love you all I want, but she's gonna love you more.
Yes. So Patty says, Patty and Jennifer with you today. Face fuchsia flower shape.
Mhm.
So they live in Tucson.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Mm.
So thank you guys for being here. Okay, so I'm gonna start channeling here. Thank you for being here, everybody who's here, and remembering that Paula will see questions. So if you have questions, please write them quickly, because I don't know how fast one's going to pop out and one's going to pop in. So if you have a question, I would start it out now. Who's going to come in? The ladies are chatting behind me. Mother Mary's going to come in first. Okay. So, okay, let me get settled in here. I was doing things before I got in here, and I was told to get ready, and I did not do as well as I was told to do. Oh, dear ones. Oh, you just sent me lots of love back, and I'm just so grateful for that. What a gift it is for you to be here with me and all that is happening in this cosmic change that you are going through. Now, remembering that there have been times on this planet where these types of changes have come in. Yet at the same time, though, not like this because the people were not so awakened. And that's the difference in this lifetime is that people are awakening and they're not so close-minded into who is the truth of the story. So remembering of the time when my son came onto this planet, that was part of the awakening of the consciousness of Christ's consciousness, which is not necessarily anything to put him on the pedestal, but he represented the divine love of consciousness. And that's why we call it the Christ consciousness, because it is of divine consciousness, which should actually be the word and not my son's name of Christ, because he was his father, and as we all are part of the Father's Father, and as we are all part of the unique gift of blessings, that is what is happening, is you are finding your divineness. Your divineness is coming in through this cosmic change that you're going through. So if you are finding new truths coming in, if you're finding new understandings coming in, and and even going to the stores and finding notes of love you more. Love you more. Isn't that the statement? Oh, can you tell I was standing behind this dear one here? We were talking about loving you more. And that's the thing that's going to change your cosmic change, is to love yourself more. Love who you are more. It is not what you believe in, it's about how you walk it, talk it, and be it. To love yourself more, love the wisdom of you more. And as we go forward into this new change that you are, you're going to find that out. Because as you come in, the Star Nation, as some people call it. Some people are still stuck on the undefined labels of the starships, but the ones who have been on this planet, which is actually you, my dear children, you are part of the cosmic star nation. So be the star nation that you are and believe in the magic that you can be. As loneliness is what's popping through this dear one's head, is part of the story of the human scenario that has been placed in your gene pool, in your gene cosmic understanding, in the mindset of the DNA, that loneliness is part of separation. And separation is part of the cosmic story of the evil and the darkness that wants to take over this planet. So if you can remember, loneliness is a state of mind. You're only as lonely as you are. This dear one was placed on this planet as an only child to figure out that loneliness is a state of mind. She can go eat in a place by herself and never feel lonely. Now, she may feel lonely once in a while because somebody hasn't called her for a while, but what does she do? She texts them or calls them and says, "Hi, would you like to talk for a moment?" Because that's what connection is. It's about having that moment of loneliness or separation feeling and then doing something about it. It's about believing in who you are. Does this make sense, my dear children?
It does, actually. The more
Do
you
you
can
have
believe
a
in it.
question, my dear friend?
Um, I don't particularly have any. I just enjoyed hanging out with you. I do think that the whole self love it, you have to be able to surrender yourself to believing all of that, and that allows you to have the ability to share that love. um you have given me more examples of love and abundance of it just overflowing from you. Like if you had skin, you would still have oozing out of your pores.
Oh,
But you
yes,
don't.
and that's why I have not taken a physical body again, because of the fact that I need to show that through the spirit of spirit. And spirit is part of that. This dear ones explains what spirit is very well, because spirit is part of the voice and the consciousness that flows from one to another. Spirit is part of the breath. It's part of the breeze that comes in when you open up the doors for the first day of spring and you feel that freshness that comes in. That is what spirit is. So if you're finding that spirit is not touching you, or inspiration is not touching you, or you have that lowness, remember physical movement can help that. So if you can get out and walk around. This dear one walked out the door this morning and she got the garbage and then washed off her car because she knew that she needed to wash off the old dirt. She did not wash it necessarily, but she rinsed it off to wash off all that old dirt of reality, because this is a new moon with the eclipse, and this eclipse is about setting yourself up into a pivot of a new understanding, pivot into a new belief system, pivot into what do you call in? What are you calling in? Use that word, what? What am I calling in? Why am I calling this in? Because I am worthy of it. I believe, because the I am is important also, because it's claiming it. So why am I so abundant? Because I am full of abundance. Because remembering abundance is not just about the dollar. Abundance is you can be in the biggest house with the most stuff and feel very poor. So believe that abundance is about the whole picture of where you are at. So reframe the understanding of what abundance is. You can look into the eyes of a dog and feel so abundant. You can feel that abundance of the reality because you were driving down the street and see the trees and see the deer and the bird. Oh, the birds that have been talking to you lately. Have you really had those birds talking to you lately? Because abundance is here for you. And that is the reason why they are dancing with you, is because of the understanding that animals are becoming the messenger of the universe more than ever. So look at the animals and the insects that are around you. Oh, and the time. Oh, my dear, the time. This dear one, when she was in California, she got 9/11 a lot, and she got 444 a lot. Well, 9, this dear one got the download, and I love that she got this download about 9 is about those endings. And the 11, what does the 11 represent? It represents the unique blessing of the quick text or the quick phone call to divine that says, I am here with you to pray that there's abundance. That 11 is a magic. So you put the 9 and the 11. So if you're seeing 9 and 11, the magical endings with new magical beginnings. And the 444 is about the angel number of love. You are of divine love. You are in that unique balance of understandings that you are of the divine. So be the divine, be the knowing, be who you are. Yes, that makes sense, doesn't that?
Yes. Now I have a question. So I have seeing time since you brought it up. um, there was a day last week I saw the time every hour on the hour, like it was 111, 222, 333, pretty much every
Mhm.
hour throughout the day. So is that my guides just bored and have nothing to do, or is there a reason? Because it happens more than once, and I do see my birthday every day. It only happens on the clock twice, and I do usually see it once a day. So, is that a those every hour thing a special message?
Every hour is an opportunity, as every 5 minutes is an opportunity, every minute is an opportunity, every second is an opportunity for new divine knowings to come in. So when you see these numbers that repeat and your birthday says, oh, look, you are thought of, you are understood, you are on your path. This one sees 711 a lot because that is her story. So that is telling her that she is coming into her fruition because we are having her back. So when you see your birthday, when you see these hours, 111, 222, 2333, 444, 555, 666, that remembering that as you come in, the 1, the 2, the 3, that life is about progression. Even though there is no timeline on this planet, but there is the understanding that the physical body, the one that is in skin, has a certain timeline. So remembering that when you come into these timelines, that the 1 is new beginnings, the 2 is about finding the pattern and the reason, the 3 is about finding in the home that root consciousness, the 4 is about understanding that there is groundedness in you, that there's 5, oh, the 5 is about all that is capable to grab onto, right? So come into this fruition, into who you are and what you're doing, and remembering that as you come forward, that those times are here for you to see that there is the path, 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. You start something, you think about it, or you think about something, then you think a little bit more harder, then you think about trying it out, and then you think about doing it, and then you start doing it, and then you maybe think about a little bit more how you can do different, right? So think about the basics of what each hour can represent in that understanding. Does this help you, my dear?
Yes, it does actually, very much.
You are on a path, my dear, that is embarking on a new whole beginning. And it's not necessarily for you to rush it. It is going to come in your time. Like you had that meditation, my dear friend, about where should you be? And your home is where you should be. Because so many of us think about the journey of where should I be? Isn't where you're at good enough? Where you're at, what you're learning, what you're going to, isn't that good enough? Isn't that what the universe set up for you to understand, that the wisdom that you're coming from what you are in, and in that moment, that can be the blessing for your next step in life? So many of you humans are in a rush for the next thing to come. Oh, but believe that where you're at and what you're doing is good enough, and where you are is where you're at. And that's one thing, that when you are coming into your fruition, believe that you are abundant already. You are having what you need already. You are gifted into being what you are already.
I feel very blessed with the situation, no matter how unconventional it might be.
I love that word, unconventional. Isn't that an amazing word? Because this combobulation is combobulation coming together, isn't it?
It is.
It's like you have to tear something apart for it to come back together again. And that's the story of life. Sometimes the breakdown is the beginning. Just like the caterpillar, munch, 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 munch. And then it goes in through breakdown, breakthroughs, break understandings to grow the wings to fly. But it has to stretch those wings to get them strong, to dry them out, to believe that it can. And then it does, because it already knows it can fly. Does it think, I cannot fly? Why can I fly? What should I fly? No, it just says, my wings are ready and I will fly. So believe that the discombobulation time. I love that word that this dear one says, that when you are in that breakdown, that is part of the regrowth process. So believe in that regrowth process that you're in, because it may be a little bit of an ouch, but it's nothing to fear.
Okay.
Well, my dear ones, remember, I love you more. I love you greater than you ever have been. And I love you for everything that you are, no matter what it represents or shows up like, because you are a gift. Call upon me, my dear friends. Call upon me, my dear children, and believe that there is only love where you're at, because there is only love with you and in you. That's what you are made of. The spark of love was part of you. So believe in that. So be it. I am blessed to be with you. Call upon me. I'm not called upon enough. You know that, my dear children. I'm not. I love
Thank
you.
you for coming. I love you too.
Wow. Hmm. She's
That was
powerful
fun.
today.
She was good.
Whew.
Good today.
Mm. Okay. So Mary almost popped back in, but I said I needed to get a drink after that one.
She's funny.
So
She's a
Mary
great,
Magdalene's going to
great,
come in.
great energy. Yeah.
Yeah. So with this, that please remember, if you're watching, you can do questions if you have any. But Mary Magdalene's going to come in, and she is love. Also, she is. And I forgot to say this. If you don't believe in channeling, remembering that I am just a messenger for the universe, as most people are. So if you do, please put worries and stuff along the side, because we're just here to learn and experience. So hopefully whatever I channel or whoever I channel can help you with some of these questions that you have. So I would present some of these questions that some of your friends had,
Mm.
because I think that they would be good ones for maybe her, because she was alive during that time. I know Mary was too, but um,
Different stories, though. Even though they were so close together, their stories are entirely, from our perception, different.
well, Mother Mary couldn't be with Joshua all the time like Mary Magdalene was,
Right. So,
because she was mom. She had other responsibilities. She had to go other places where her son had to go off and do his thing, like a lot of our kids need to come off and do things.
okay.
Okay. Okay. Hmm. Oh, you are here with me, Mary Magdalene, and I am so grateful for this, because I'm Margaret. Margaret is part of my understanding of being here, but yet I do go by Mary. But I want to honor my mother, mother of heart, mother of being, mother of the wisdom that came before me. So with that, how are you all doing today? I just see wisdom coming forward in you. You are such a gift. And I am Margaret, who really loves to be part of this new understanding that is coming on this planet, this love of feminine, the feminine love, and I'm just witnessing so many of the loving beings of feminine that are embracing the masculine love, that the masculine energy that is evolving onto this planet is shifting. And that's why there's so many men asking questions, asking what is truth, what is this understanding of wisdom. And that masculine energy can only come forward with the feminine blessing of grace, love, and wisdom. As you come into this new understanding, as blessings come forward. Does this make sense?
Very much. Yes. Yes.
You're doing such a good job. Yes, you are. You're
Thank you.
doing such a good job. And Mary, in this story of loving you more, my mother loving you more, that there is this wisdom that's going to come onto this planet for the feminine to the masculine. And you're doing a good job, my dear, helping these men. Oh, these men of your life. They are just troubled, aren't you? They are just troubled, especially those elder ones are so troubled because they do not understand that piece of love and vulnerability is here to show them that they are stronger than ever. And that's the thing is vulnerability, that vulnerable piece of understanding of emotions is the greatest gift that one can be in because then there's wisdom that can come from that to be with others in their world.
I know, but they're men. Trying to get them to understand is a thing, but that's okay. I have hope every day.
And you are doing a good job. You have a balance yourself of your masculine and feminine energy and your feminine and masculine energy. And that's what they can understand and negotiate with is because you have an understanding of their growl so that you can bring in the softness of the love. So good job, my dear friend. You are doing a good job.
They
It's
didn't think so all
not
the
easy
time.
to be rough with those men of ours, is it? Because I know I had to do it myself with all those people that were all the 12
Disciples.
disciples that were a part of that. Do you think those men were understanding their emotions? No, it took us women to give them that grace when they needed the grace. Do you have something that you would like to know about, my dear friend?
Um, no, I think that you are very I've been talking about you and our last meeting because it was so wonderful. And I've had some people like bring up like ancient texts, and somebody mentioned there was a gentleman that had found gospels and things, and it was right after you told us that you still had some of yours were hidden and not found. And he ended up losing his life over these texts because they were going to
Mm.
be released. And I know you have to know of it because you know of everything. But
As you do too, my dear. That's the limited mindset is that you don't know and you do.
well, I do, but I do, but I don't. Right, so it's I don't, but I do, what I do, but I don't. You only
It
know what
always
you
comes though, doesn't it? It always comes, doesn't
I
it? We
trust
love teasing you that way.
I know I have gotten to the point where I at least can trust that what's coming out of my mouth that I may not have learned is been wisdom from somebody else that has learned.
Mhm.
I trust that enough, so I
As
don't
this
question my
dear
thoughts.
As this dear one said, it's like channeling without channeling. It's about knowing without knowing. It's about not an agenda without having an agenda. It's about having an understanding without understanding. It's the balance between breath and no breath. It's that belief that we are where we're at. It's the tide coming in and clashing against the earth, and yet it still goes back to itself within seconds. It's about understanding the wisdom will be where it needs to be because this wonderful human brain cannot hold it all. And yes, there are still texts that will be coming out that will show the feminine nature of the apostles' women. And it has not come out yet because it was hidden. There was several people who knew that it was important texts that are coming out in a little bit because then now people can handle that feminine nature. That it has not been able to come out yet, my dear ones, because it's not time for that understanding of what actually the gods and goddesses on this planet we're here to do, because there is that fine line between wisdom of the masculine and the feminine working together that creates a balance of harmony. And you knew that through the apostles, but yet at the same time, though, because of man being in charge for so many years, not in the sense of the man who, it's not about the masculine energy. It's about the man of the ego that has been in charge. And so when we come into that wisdom, that we do not need to have the greater gift of what that text was about. And there's still these people, this energy out there that is trying to balance and try to keep in control. And that's why people are not of living sense on this planet, because they have said something that has been very damaging to someone's ego. Mm. And so, as truth comes out and the wisdom comes out, remember that truth is all a mixture of things. But remember that evil that has been said in the books of the fallen angel, he did not fall. He went. He made the choice. He is not of darkness. But there is darkness on this planet that is being created and kept going because of the ego of darkness. And darkness is being overridden by light, by love, by wisdom. And so remembering that no matter where you're at and what you're doing, that there is this wisdom that is coming in. And when you are in the story of this wisdom, that you will create more balance. So be love more, be the wisdom more, so that you can find that wisdom of your own graciousness more.
I have a question about that dark energy.
Yes.
Is it it isn't it still has a balance because, or I should say it has a balance of masculine and feminine entities as well?
Yes.
Or okay, because
Yes. There
it's more
is this
masculine than that, yes.
Yes, there is the balance of masculine energy and feminine energy of darkness. There are as many feminine energies that are producing some of that strength because of the darkness that has taken over. And that is the one thing that you're going to find, that everything is energy. And when you're around the right energy, you create better energy. So remembering that when you have these ideas of wanting to do something, get around somebody else who is doing it, whatever that it is, so you can create a likeness of energy. So you take the same aspect from darkness, that if you have a good woman or a good man and you're around darkness and more darkness, let's say that this one soul came married into this one family, and the family was 95% darkness besides the 5%. What is going to happen to that light that came into the darkness?
Hopefully it will get bigger.
We would hope. But if it's not a strong light, it's going to be taken over by darkness, because there are energies that create darkness. There is darkness that creates darkness. And as you walk into the darkness, remember, you can shake it off, but your light is important. So if that dear one, man or woman, goes into that family that is 95% darkness, what's going to end up happening is that they're going to be overrun. They're going to be mind games, right? That mind game can play havoc on that story. And so remembering, in order to stay light, be light. This dear one knew that as much as darkness wanted to come in and entities came unto her home, she said, no, 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 no. But she had boundaries around it. She had boundaries around a lot of these understandings. And so that's where she could persevere through a lot of the darkness. So remembering that you have charge over your mind, you have charge over your heart center and your gut center. So do not be darkness. be light in spite of the world around you. And remembering that you are only as powerful as you believe you are. This one, dear one, doesn't get scared at places, but she doesn't go into places either, right? So it's about choices and where you are at.
I
This
am.
is
That's very good. I'm very comfortable with not being worried about going places and people. I think that's one of my benefits is that I'm not afraid of people, even though people think you should be. I'm like, why? You have to give them grace and love. And I know things about people that people have known for years and never asked the question. They're like, how do you know? Because I asked the question, you know? So finding the balance, the energy, allowing the energy in what some lonely or struggling person might have, allowing their light to come out in just a sentence or two, I found has been very good as well. And giving them an opportunity to be positive.
That is why you were chosen to come and do what you're doing. One person at a time, one moment at a time can change and evolve the realities of the wisdom. Like that storm that came and tried to wash you out and you chose not to. And you chose to not let the storm persevere through you to stop you from what you were meant to do. You gave it a chance in your wisdom. Now that you are where you're at, what is the rest of your evening going to do? What are the choices that you're going to make? So remembering there is no mistakes in a sense of you have choices in where you're at, but the no mistake is not always meant to be a harmness. You know, that is something that is very human, very structured into a pattern. So remember that there's darkness on this planet that is not a no mistake, but there is the wisdom that can come out of it. So what are you going to do about it? So remember, if circumstances are just a perception of a change to walk out of once it happens. My love is with all of you, and remembering magic is coming. So take this opportunity with this new moon and the eclipse and all the planetary shifts and changes. And dear one, you're going to have a planet show if you walk out about 1 o'clock. That as you come into this understanding, remembering that we are asking you as a collective divine love for you to think more about yourself in a positive way. Shake off those old stories. Remember, as this dear one went around and moved things and shifted things, that is about shifting up your own reality. Your environment will process what you're needing to shift up. Ask it, what needs to be moved today? What is it that I'm meant to do? And let those ideas pop into your head, because that's the wisdom that's there. I am Margaret Mary of Love and Light. And remember that as you go into your realities, wisdom is going to come. So trust that inner voice of love and light that you have. That is going to be the deal breaker of a lot of things. When you feel like it needs to happen or not happen, that is what's going to help. Blessed be. Do you have any last questions, my dear love?
Not today, dear. Thank you so much for being here. I love you so much.
I love you too, my dear one. And you are making some big changes. Blessed be. Oh, wow.
I think she knows too much about me.
And it was interesting because her energy and Mary's energy is a lot alike. So it was like, and Mary's still here a lot. So that's why things kind of felt a little off once in a while, because they were kind of like flipping in and out as a joke between women.
Gotcha. Gotcha. See, they get to have fun over there too.
Yeah, they do. They do. They do.
See, and people think pranking people is bad.
I know. I love it that you prank people. You know, that's the thing we're going to talk a little bit about. That this is a time not to be serious.
Well, serious about how you, but not serious at the same time. I think that humor in every day has to be something that we have. And I try to make that happen. And my friends ad nauseum will tell you that.
I know. We were talking about how you leave googly eyes,
Yes.
in places that, like in showers, so two eyes are staring at people.
We've yet to hear from those people. They haven't told us they found them yet. But my friend, I was watching his house, so he's out of town, and I put things all over his house. He's like, "How many sets did you find?" There's still a few there. So, um, but doing that and wearing a crazy hat, or I brought my crown just in case I needed to straighten it for the ladies. But
I love it.
always just having something to make. I've got song lyrics for everything. you know, having
And
those
that's the thing is,
references.
I don't know how many people are actually hearing music and doing music and music lyrics like the other day, we were my husband and I were having a little bit of restart of a moment, as I choose to call it, and it was like Journey came on,
Mhm.
you know and I that is my song that my dad sends me. There's 2 or 3 songs of Journey, the band Journey, that he's just like he's got my back.
See, you have to have a lighter in your pocket so that when it comes on, you can hit the lighter like you're at the concert. I did that at my class reunion one time. The DJ put on Journey, and there was two couples up there dancing, and I just went over with my light. I was like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, what else do you do to this song? It's just a thing.
Exactly.
You have to have lived that moment, I guess, once or twice. Because now it's all phones. Like they don't do the lighter. Nobody has lighters. Everybody's got their phone light for stuff at the concerts and things.
Mhm.
But live music is probably one of my favorite things. So yes, I'm a fan of the waving the candle and all that stuff, lights and stuff.
Yeah.
But being fun with a lot of things, having glow sticks, having a clown nose, just uh, forever trying to make the situation not so dark for everybody.
Mhm.
Everybody has to go to work. You all have a grind. Everybody has a grind. Everybody has something they need to do for somebody else, I think.
Mhm.
And the point is, when you start thinking that what you do for yourself has to happen first, um, the other part gets easier, or
Mhm.
it gets put in its perspective. I still have to do it. I still have to go to work. But I have to do this for myself. And if I don't show up on time, or I don't do something particularly just right, if I lose my job for it, I'm still not. They would fire me or hire somebody tomorrow. You are not irreplaceable, I think.
Mhm.
And the places that you are irreplaceable, you're never there. Like stepping out for yourself, for your family, taking that time to separate you from the extra.
Mhm.
Um, you're not in those spaces. So I try to be in those spaces. And for me, it's easier because I've kind of moved myself out of society and into the desert. But so I have a lot of time for myself and the dirt but I also have, don't know which one of them was talking about the birds. I think it was Mother Mary, about the birds that were talking to me, because my ravens hadn't been around for about a month. And the last week, they're there every morning yelling at me. It's like, hey, like, you haven't been around, so what's going on? How are you? And I have a
Mhm.
roadrunner, I believe, that's living. I think the mom is not with us. I found it searching around for water and stuff, and it wasn't afraid of me. I was able to go up to it, which makes me think it was probably sick. But
Mhm.
in the meantime, I think there's a baby. I think I have a baby roadrunner, and it's similar to another one of the other birds around, but I think it's a baby roadrunner. I'm so excited because if it is, they kind of recognize. They're not like crows and ravens in the sense where they remember humans in detail, but they do recognize gait patterns and things. So if they're trying to get water or food or whatever, they will recognize your patterns and show up at that time of day and stuff.
Mhm.
But very very beautiful birds. I've never seen a roadrunner up close. And the tail and the back feathers were just so like emerald green. like
Mm.
all crazy, like very cool green. And then they have these black feathers that when they open up their wings, so that they drop their body temperature about 8 degrees at night to conserve energy. And then in the daytime, they just open up and the black feathers on their back help them heat up to temperature.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay. So I find myself in researching all the animals that show up at my property.
I bet.
Um,
Yeah,
and
because there's so many, like the other day I was driving south on the freeway and all of a sudden this pigeon dive bombed this car in front of me and I'm like going, well, there's a message for you. I bet that person didn't Google what's a message of a pigeon, but that's basically, the story of things that things are dive bombing us and it's like
they all
how
have a
do
message. It's us. It's a bummer that you can't really figure it out easily all the time.
Mhm.
Like I know that's a message, but what is it telling me? It could be a couple different things. You know.
That's
Uh,
why I like Googling it even before Google turned into what it's turned into now is like I Google a lot of that information because that's how we come into our empowerment is believing that we have this help and that's the thing is that our universe is right there. Remember what mother I heard as one was going out that they said remember to call upon me.
Mother Mary.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that we gotta remember to call upon our team, our spiritual team. It's like, it's amazing to come. It's like I was, looking for some support and who came, right? My little lady. And then I've been asking for my dragon to show up. And what did I get? I got a cement dragon, it's like even though they're here, but they're saying, I got you. I got you. Right. And so, we got to believe that we're not alone. And that's how we stay in balance. Like for me today, I was walking around and saying, okay, what do I need to do next, universe? Tell me. And I was like, oh, clean your sliding
Letting
glass
go.
door. And it was like it had been years. I think it was since my mom was in this room that I cleaned it, and it's like it's been years, and it's like, oh my gosh, years of soot. What does that metaphor mean? All right, it's like
Right.
those,
It's
it's
the
like,
eclipse energy. It's the eclipse energy.
mhm,
Clearing that away.
clearing that soot and the old story away, and I'm really realizing that it's like it's about how do we and I knew that about the eclipse about and I've known that about eclipses before, but it's like it's about and I don't know if you've had this, but I've been having a lot of people keeping me in old stories. Like, well, and I'll give you an example. Like, I'm not necessarily, it takes me a little bit to come online in the morning. That's the word I'm using. It takes me a little bit to come into my body, come online. And people always said, well, can you get up in the morning? Can we get out of the house by that time? And I'm like going, um, yeah, I have proven that over and over again that I can get up for a plane, that I can get out of the house at a certain time, that I can wake up and before my alarm and all these different things. But people keep saying, are you sure? Are you sure? And I'm like going, do I get triggered into that? Or do I not get triggered into that? And I'm choosing not to get triggered into that.
Right. Me too. I was telling somebody I haven't had an alarm wake me up for years. Probably 20 years. Easily. Since I had my kids. So because had the luxury of being a stay-at-home mom. Now it's not like they didn't wake me up. That's not the problem. But I didn't have when I did work, it was in the evening, so I was already up. It wasn't like I had to get up for work. So that's a good thing. But trusting that I think I think my biggest message for people watching or listening is that trusting any of the messages that you get makes you think that you kind of have to trust them all. However crazy like message might seem or that message might seem, it's going to fit in somewhere down the road. And you have to trust that they're getting it to you how they can. I had a reading the other day and it was a gentleman that was a mobster, or it might have just been about the coke that he looked like a mobster. The guy said he wasn't sure, but I was trying, having to try to figure out the message that I'm getting from a mobster, you know. And then, you connect some dots in here and stuff. And I was very happy that it pointed out about being a seer, and thinking that my eyes were going to needed to be checked, but I needed to check what I'm doing with my eyes, I think was the message. So,
So
just think through it.
the being that came to you while you were doing your reading was a gangster or a
Right.
mobster type of person. So you're getting messages through them to that, you were a seer. And that's the thing. A lot of our old stories are coming through that we're all seers to a certain point. And
Mhm.
how do we believe? Because a lot of us were killed because we were seers. So a lot of those, like I use that in my notes about who I am. I'm a seer of energy, but I spell it seer, like the old seer,
Mhm.
because it's like I I do honor that oldness in me that has all these past lives or other lifetimes of being killed for seeing things that people didn't want me to see.
Mm. Yes. So I guess you have to worry about what you say when you see something. Be discerning about it.
I am discerning, but I'm not afraid.
Yes,
And
exactly.
I used to be afraid, so remembering that we are about all these things, but like you almost needing to drive through water that was rushing or not, you had to make a choice, and what a message that was.
Oh yeah, because I was like, I am way too close to back up, or like to go back. Like that wasn't gonna happen. It was like the last area where there could have been a wash between there and here. And I was like 5 more minutes and I would have been fine. And then I was like, well, what did I go back in the house for that kept me 5 more minutes? But I wasn't supposed to be here. It was played out the way it did. And I accept that for sure. I'm just
Hmm.
wasn't going to risk my truck. Sorry, people. I love y'all.
No, 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 no,
Yeah.
no. And we always want you safe. It's not about
Oh, yeah.
that. But it gave me a chance to light some candles and to do a prayer. It gave me a chance to finish things up that I was needing to
Yeah.
finish up. So that's where I'm like there, when you're working with that universal timing, there is no mistakes in some ways, but at the
I
same
agree.
time, I think one of them was saying that that's why it's popping back in to clarify that little bit. That, it's like it is about, that we are responsible for what we're doing, but at the same time, though, working with the energies out there, that is the blessing. That is the gift, is to honor that moment and to work with what's showing up in front of us. For me, it's like I wasn't planning on cleaning the sliding glass door. I knew I needed to come in and do some work in my spiritual room, straighten it up, but at the same time, though, I wasn't expecting to do what I did,
Right.
so it's about
That's
trusting
how
and
my whole
believing.
day. That's how my whole day usually goes. I wasn't planning on doing that, but I went to find something to do that. So when I gotta, yes, soon I will have everything that I own will have a home soon enough. But- And I say
Oh,
soon
that
enough because
ADHD squirrel thing.
it's only as soon as they'll let me, I guess. I don't know. It's crazy.
But that's the
And
things that we are responsible for, what our mind pulls us into. That's why I start saying, Natasha, finish what you started. Natasha, finish what you're supposed to do. Natasha, do what you're supposed to finish. And I
yep,
know that my nervous system is safe doing it. So I'm going to have to do a show on that one of these times about making sure the nervous system gets, how does the nervous system feel safe?
breathing,
That's huge.
reset that breathing. It's worked
Hmm.
for so many people that they've called me and they're like, ah. And I said, box
Just
breathe.
breathe.
Do your
Just breathe.
box breathe.
Hmm.
And then let me know if that doesn't help. We'll go somewhere else. But yeah, box breathe.
Hmm.
So
Breathing is huge. And even that quick statement, I'm safe, you know, I'm safe. Oh, I'm safe. I can do this. I'm safe. Oh, that breathing and that kind of thing. So that's a moment.
it
Well,
is.
thank you, Paula, for being here.
You're
The
welcome.
hour went fast, and I'm so grateful that whoever showed up, and I'm hoping that some answers got given for those who are here, and I'm so grateful that life is happening, and I know that life is happening beyond us. So remembering that if you are a little bit tired, or if you're a little bit weird, feeling weird, if a little headachy, if you're feeling you're over, stimulated, whatever the barometer is that you're feeling right now, remember moodiness a little bit, maybe remembering that this eclipse energy is going to hit us all differently depending on what we need to look at to say, I can do different, or I can do better, or I can do more of.
And if you haven't gotten your seatbelt yet, you probably should, because I think the rest of the calendar year is going to be a ride.
I totally agree with that statement. I
Get your
totally agree with
spiritual
that statement.
seatbelt on and be like, let's do this. Because the let's do this attitude will allow them to just pump more light through us to get to other people.
Mhm. I
You know,
totally agree. Well, if we haven't known already, if you look at the planetary shifts that are coming through already, they're huge.
yeah.
And, like right now we have the eclipse with the new moon, and then we have the planets are lined up to see them lined up. And then we
Yes.
have a meteor shower that is possible.
I've been seeing meteors for probably the last 2.5 weeks because there's like 3 meteor showers and I see them all the time. But Mary Magdalene said and you'll see quite the planet show if I go out at 1 o'clock tonight.
Oh, did she?
She did. So hopefully it'll be clear, but it usually is. So I'm looking forward to that as well. But I have my own planetarium out here. It's kind of a perk of living in the middle of nowhere. And in the valley, actually, because it's got a border of all mountains, it actually feels like a planetarium because there's like an edge,
Uh-huh.
So it's kind of cool. But I'll be looking for that tonight. And don't be afraid to go out there and make your neighbors. They might care, but they're going to gossip anyway. Give them something to talk about. Go out there with your, burning your wishes on a piece of paper in your yard to get rid of something that you need to, and don't
Or
let your
we want to
rituals.
bring in something.
Or yes, and you don't want to stifle your choices of ritual for your neighbors looking over the fence or caring, because they're going to gossip anyway. At least give them something fun to talk about, Let's see. Like I've got my dome half concept building, and it's vinyl, so I have a disco light if I put in there, and it flashes. You can see it far away, like at
Mhm.
least a mile or so away. So I do that just to have people keep them guessing,
I love
and
you.
bring them your version of light.
I love you.
Haven't
You
even put the
bring in,
disco ball up yet.
I mean, it's like you and your gifts of just like even having the Mad Hatter hat on, it's
Oh,
like the rabbit hole, it's like you just have this amazingness, and your brother who has lovingly passed, like him wearing the
no,
clown nose, and you just came from something that was gracious and joyful, and you're doing joy in spite of the world around you, and I'm just so grateful for that.
well, thank you for that, and I'm so grateful to have you as well. 'Cause without you, some of my message doesn't get anywhere. So, um, we're in this together.
Yep, we
Everybody
are.
out there too, we're in it together with you. So reach out if you need something.
Yes, and all your information is in the bio of this video.
Oh, good. I'll be getting
Okay.
a website here soon. My friend called me, so we'll have more things for you to do.
Sounds
Mhm.
good. Well, blessings,
Mhm.
everyone. And thank you, Paula, for being here. I
You're very
think next
welcome.
week is the third Wednesday, and I think Regan will probably be on. So here we
Okay.
go.
All right, back at it.
Yep.
Have a
Thank
nice
you,
day, everyone.
everyone. Bye
Thanks.
now. Blessings. And remember, positivity in the moment can help you get through it.
Yes.
Bye.